my debut video and I'm just going to giggle all the way through it. That's what I do. Call it nerves, whatever. So anyway, myself, Jackie and Chris, we moved here a few years ago and to these 4 acres of wet, cattle trodden, pesticide sprayed land, and we had this vision of creating something for nature and for wildlife. And so we've planted some trees, cut the grass, we're not spraying anything, and just letting the land recover basically. So we're going to take you on a little tour, show you some trees. So down here we've got a load of oak trees, but by the way, I am going to talk about trees in depth later on. This is just going to be a general overview of all the stuff that we're getting up to. So feel free as well to comment on how I can do things better. So the hedges were already here, all surrounded by ditches and old hawthorn. There's a few sort of dying ash trees that are going to have to be sorted out one day. The rain is starting. That's Island. So this field is about 1.5 acres. So there are alder, willow, silver birch, some fir trees, one of each type because I think they're so cute. Hopefully we'll see them one day covered in Christmas baubles and the like, but we'll see. So we've cut some of the grass just because we have to be able to walk around, and it's nice for humans and nature to be able to share it. So rather than just have all mown grass, we're having mown grass and we're having a patch which is dedicated to the wildlife. So this hasn't been touched apart from in the very early days when we planted trees here. But now this is just left completely wild, and you can see that there's, well, you can't see, but there are frogs and mice and all sorts living down there. Little flowers arrive. Many buttercups. Many buttercups. Many rushes. And then I have to say, I don't like the rushes. They do nothing for anybody. Nothing eats them. What they are is a trip hazard. I have tripped over many a stash of rushes in my time here. I think all good gardens need a pond. They're so beneficial. You have this from nothing, from a patch of grass. We dug out this great big hole, puddled the sides to make a natural clay pond, and things are arriving. So we have newts in there, and tadpoles and fish, frogs, toads, you name it, it's living in there. We've put some plants in specifically for them and to keep the water clean as best as we can. Although I have to say, because it's a puddled clay pond, it is always going to look a bit murky, but it is actually healthy. This is where all the action takes place. Not from me generally, but from the seeds that are grown. So we started with a very small, cheap polytunnel just to see if I was capable of growing stuff, and it turned out we could. So we built a new, big, strong, sturdy, wow-looking polytunnel, and all the beds are, well, the raised beds, because the ground's so wet still, you can't grow carrots or potatoes in the ground. They would just come to nothing. So the raised beds are made from pallet, checked for the stamp to make sure that they haven't been treated with anything, because whatever's in the beds are going to be used for food. The idea that will be self-sufficient. Semi-successful. I wouldn't want to rely on it too much because we'd probably starve at the moment, but in time I'm hoping to get better. They're filled with spent mushroom compost and organic manure, aged. I'm hoping there's a degree of trust with people when they give things to you, so I'm told that it was organic. So we've got vegetables, we've got blueberries, strawberries, currants. I'm hoping to get a few more, just sourcing them. It's not the right time of year at the moment. We have a compost bin on the go. So it's very stinky, I have to say. You can't smell it, but if you had smell-o-vision, you would be able to get what I'm talking about. So this year's compost in the making. Last year's compost, which was in that box, is now in here, and it has turned into gorgeous compost. So that is just all our vegetable trimmings, bits of grass, cardboard, twigs. This is the old tunnel. It's not particularly strong and it's not going to last very much longer. So I was always conscious when I was putting my seeds together that I was going to come out one day and I was going to find the tunnel in the next field and my pots strewn all over the place. So I was always a little bit wary. But we've got the big one now. So this is just a bench that we put together, and it's got all our little cuttings. Soon they're going to be going out in the garden. So when I am out and about, I do see the odd leaf, and some of them take, some of them don't. So I've had some cuttings that have grew. They've been put on upside down, but that's all good. So yes, once we've managed to work out how to open the door, this is the new tunnel. So everything in here that's not in a yogurt pot has been grown from seed. A couple more weeks and they'll be going outside. Too cold at the moment. My fingers are freezing. And it's early May. To me, it should be glorious sunshine. It's not. It's chucking it down. But anyway, all the seeds are grown for the lavender. So yeah, a couple more weeks and the plants will be getting taken outside. And once the beds are clear, the tomatoes and the peppers and the cucumbers will go in, and I'll put a notice on the door to say, green fly, white fly, aphids, stay away, please. This is a 2.5 acre field, what I've been told anyway. Again, it's bounded by hawthorn and willow, a couple of sad ash trees. It was a cattle field. Again, not a worm to be seen. Plenty of flies, but not a lot going on. Very heavy, wet, trodden ground, full of rushes again. So we had a lot of help in the very early days with the neighbours and their big tractors. So they cut it all down and we sort of kept on top of it thereafter. So we planted the trees. We're doing some mowing, but again, we're leaving a little patch for wildlife. I have seen a hedgehog, so on this little stretch down here. So I will be encouraging them with piles of logs and shelter. And it's raining, so I think we're going to stop now. So more in a week or so's time.